Welcome back to Sapphires, and we're going to finish up with texturing and adding our normal map and our ambient occlusion map into our unwrapped low poly dice. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to take you through a very quick way to add a dirt map, a base map, and then add some scratches, and then take you through that part. So it's fairly simple, but you probably need to take a lot more time than what I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you the basics. I'm not going to go in here and do a crazy job and take 3 or 4 hours to texture a dice, because that's probably how long it's going to really take you to do this properly. So we're going to go in here and just take you through the real quick process and just kind of lightly touch on the things you have to do. So what you want to do is you want to start with the base. It can be a solid color, which is fine. Whatever you want to do, but you need to have a base. I'm going to go ahead and go for the jugular and go right for, because I could go in here and I'm going to open this up so it's not locked, and create a new layer here, okay, for color, and do not white. You never want to do white, pure white. You want to kind of give it a off color. That's good. So really lightly. That's not what I want. Okay, let's go in here. Let's go back. Alright, so open that up, and I want to go ahead and fill this up. There we go. So when you're working with the UVs, you probably want to make sure that you basically keep the opacity down on the layers above it, so you can kind of see where the lines are, the UV lines are, so you at least stay within those lines. And if you go out of the lines, it's not a big deal. So I'm going to kind of build basically on top. So I'm going to select this image here and hold the shift key down and move it in. It's going to pop it right in the middle. I'm going to do Control T to scale it, so you can see that this image is really, really big. So I'm going to scale that down, move it down in a way that I can hold that shift key down. I'm holding the shift key down, and this is going to scale it proportionately. I'm going to place that in, okay, and I'm going to hit enter. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to turn the opacity down probably about 50%, so we can still see back of it. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this. I'm going to hold the shift key down, drag it inside to here, and again I'm doing a Control T and scale this down. And I think I'm going to rotate this guy too. Just rotate it. Okay. Just type in the numbers, 90. Move that around. And again, I'm going to bring that down quite a bit so I can see that it's covering everything. I'm going to scale this out a little bit. Scale this out a little bit. There we go. And I'm doing a sloppy job because I don't want to spend 2 hours creating a video. That would be boring for you, so you're just getting the idea here. So I got those two in. I'm going to drag these guys in here too as well, and these should fit perfectly. Shouldn't have to scale them, so I'm going to hold the shift key down. It's essential that you hold the shift key down, left mouse button, click, and drag it over top, and that should place it perfectly where it needs to be. And I'm going to minimize that, go to the normal map, and we're not going to actually use the normal map, but it kind of gives us, it's kind of a template. We're not going to use it, and we're not going to we're going to keep it, but we're not going to use it in the texture. But we're going to put it in here, and I'm going to turn that off for now. Okay. So I put the ambient occlusion on the top layer for a reason, because I wanted to multiply all the way through. So we're going to start with the very lowest one. So here's our yellow. I'm going to turn the opacity up. So that's our base color. That's if when the dice comes out out of the manufacturing, that's the the color of the basically the color of the plastic. Okay, so that is that. So we don't want pure white because we want this to look a little older. So the next one is the grunge. This is the dirt. So I'm going to turn the opacity up. Now, a lot of times, if you don't like the color or you don't think it's dirty enough or gritty enough, you can go in here and make changes. You can go into adjustments and change the levels if you want to kind of darken it a little bit. I'm going to do that for mine, and just kind of make it a little bit more ominous, so you can see what I had before, and now I'm going to darken a little bit. So I like that. So basically what we're going to do now is I've got to hold on a second. I got to turn this off. Okay, there we go. Get this minimize. Alright, so I got three things going on at once here. So back to this, we're going to go in here and turn this to multiply. So we're going to blend that in. Now you can't really see it that well, but it's actually blending in there. So I'm going to turn that off and on. And what it's doing is it's blending in with the background. Okay, you can see this better if I were to move this down underneath and turn it on, and you can see that this is blending over top of that. So I'm going to put this back up again. There we go. So with that, we're going to go in here and we're going to turn on the opacity of this all the way. And these are all the scratches and stuff that we might see. And I'm going to go ahead and multiply that. So go to multiply, and you can see how this is all now kind of working together. Okay. Now it may seem a little dark, so this is okay, because we can go to the layer 2 and actually turn that opacity down a little bit so it's not so overwhelming. And we can do the same thing with layer 3, turn the opacity down so it's not as heavy. Okay, whatever you decide you want to do. That's the difference. It makes a really huge difference on how this is going to look, depending on how you decide you want to add this. So we're going to go and work on the scratches layer a little bit. So I'm going to take go right to the scratches, turn that to 100%, and that's kind of, we really don't want it to look like this. So I'm going to go in here and make some adjustments to the levels and see if we can't figure out a way to make this look a little bit nicer, a little bit better. Make it fit a little bit better. And see if we can't get that. Let's see how that looks. There we go. Okay, click OK, and then we're going to go into image, and we need to invert it. Okay, there we go. So now we can actually see the scratches. It makes a little more sense. Now I'm going to go into adjustments and go to levels. Just kind of continue messing around with this. See if I can't get that to look a little bit better. There we go. And see, that's looking pretty good. So I'm clicking OK on that. I'll turn the background on there. So now you can see we've got some scratches on here. It looks pretty cool. And then, so the next one is going to be the ambient occlusion. Now ambient occlusion is not dark enough as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to duplicate this guy. And I'm going to go into image and adjustments and levels and really crank this up to darker color. There we go. I don't want to go black because that looks kind of weird. I'm going to bring this down quite a bit. And you can see that I've got kind of a line across here, which is interesting. I'm not really digging that, so I'm going to go in here and erase that portion of it. So let's see here. Make sure I have that selected, and I'm going to make sure opacity, flow, blah blah blah. Let's do hardness. Let's go pretty quickly on this. I'm not entirely happy with that line there. Here we go. Get rid of that. And what I want to do is I want to do multiply on that as well. Turn that one off. There we go. So now we have the dots. Okay. I'll turn this one on too. Multiply that one. There we go. So now we've got some really nice looking things happening here. It's really nice. So I'm multiplying. Basically, when you multiply, anything white will be transparent. Okay. So and anything black will pull through. So basically, that's my map. It's really dirty. So what I can do is click on opacity, just kind of turn everything down to 80%. Click on this one, and go down to 80%. So now I can kind of see it's a little bit better. This is a nicer image. The other one was way too high, and I want this to be my color map. And so once I've got everything where I want it, and make sure my lower base color is 100%, then I'm going to go ahead and go to File, and of course save this entire thing. So I'm going to call this Dice Color Map PSD. Make sure you save it as PSD first, and then after that's saved, go ahead and File and save that as Dice Color Map, and we're going to do a Targa. Okay, Targa map, and save that. That's important. Targa. It already exists. That's okay. Dice Targa. Oh, I thought I did TGA. Okay, that's weird. Right. Dice color map. TGA. Alright. That's okay. And 24-bit. Yep. So that last thing where it said you want to do 16-bit, 24-bit, or 32, make sure you select 24-bit. A lot of you guys are selecting 32 or not even paying attention and selecting OK. And 32-bit will add a alpha map, which makes things look make things look transparent. All right, man. That's it for color map. Color map. Now we're going to work on the specular map in the next video.